Hello, welcome to my channel. Wow, this video theme is sweet, right? It just feels like the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more comfortable you get, right? Sometimes I'm just like, what do I have to say? How do I process my thoughts? But then the thought of the camera just makes me feel good. You know, when I was planning for my wedding, there was something, a couple of friends, they just choose two things that would you can't do without. And I was like, pictures and good food. Of course, the other part of the food thing, nah, we took too much time taking pictures. We delayed people in our wedding, and like, of course, maybe they are getting they are getting back at us was finishing all the food, right? So maybe just had rice, the small chops, everything. So yeah, as long gone before we go there, right? So sometimes when I just come in front of the video, I just imagine like I'm going to take pictures, and maybe that's just it for me. But then, right, go for it. So today I'm going to be talking about positivity, right? So positivity is the act of being positive. It's not in the dictionary. Even if it's in the dictionary, maybe they said it that way. I don't know. I didn't check. But just being positive, exuding positive energy, positive vibes, right? It goes a long way. So, like, as I mentioned a couple of times, or as is in my bio, my YouTube channel is just to share my experiences, things I come about, things I learn, and I've learned that there's power in speaking positively to yourself. When you say good things to yourself, good things open up for you, regardless of what you're going through. So like practice words of affirmation, right? So when I used to complain about things, I still complain about things. So this video is also for me, right? It's something I'm just sharing with you on something I've learned, and it's a reminder for myself also, right? So when something doesn't go well, I typically like fuss about it, and then a couple of times my support system around it point out the good stuff, and I'm like, nah. Like all these things you're saying, you're just trying to make me feel good and all that. This didn't go well. This didn't blah blah blah. Like sometimes like it's it's a clear failure. Like, so what good are you trying to see in failure? What could possibly be the good in failure? And I hear things like, oh, it's a learning experience that is okay, but maybe this time around I don't want to learn. I don't want this as my learning experience, especially if it's something like an examination. So what's learning experience in failing? You reading the subject again, right? So I used to have that opinion that like this is just this is just you trying to make me feel good. But it's actually a lot of psychic that comes with having positive energy, and that is why people who have some sort of faith to hold on to, they are able to better cope mentally than people who don't have anything to hold on to. So we watched this movie recently, I believe in Santa. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's on Netflix, right? And that guy just went about how he believes in Santa. His partner wasn't of that vibe, and then she asked him a question, what if you're wrong? And he was like, oh, I'd rather be wrong having faith in something than be wrong not having faith. Can't really remember if that's how we said it, but that's just the meaning, right? And it shows how like being positive, having good energy, having faith, how it gives you, yeah, it gives you that propulsion to go forward. Now, we had a session very recently, it was a women's session, and people were talking about how they look themselves in the mirror, they say nice things to themselves, it shares their energy. Years back, I would just be like, why am I looking at myself in the mirror and saying, oh, you're beautiful? Of course, I know I'm beautiful. You're hardworking, you're diligent, you're great, you do wonders, you would inherit the earth. But these things, they matter. You look yourself every day, tell yourself you are blessed. You're destined for great things. You will do well. You will conquer the land. You would prosper. Good things will happen to you. Good things will come your way. So I would prosper. Good things will come my way, right? I would receive favor. I will receive mercy. I will receive grace. Doors will open up to me. You know what happens in this thing, right? You're just telling yourself, the universe is aligning with you. There's word in what we say, right? So when you have a positive energy, right, you channel positive things, right? When you see the good in things, good things come to you. Now I won't say that like this works for me for a couple of things, right? For so many things, like it's just something that works, right? But then I won't say that I'm an expert in this, right? So, and I'll give you an example. So I started practicing this positivity, right, when I realized that when you're negative, I had to realize that like when you see only the bad in situations, the universe doesn't align with you. The universe doesn't channel good things your way, right? There's power in your tongue, right? And when people say it, it is real, right? So what you the words of your mouth, right? You should declare good things, right? There's power in the tongue, right? So you say positive things to yourself, you channel positive energy to yourself, right? When you wake up, you don't feel like it's a good day, you tell yourself it will be a good day. When you go out, you smile, you greet people, you say hello. You know, there's this happiness that comes with big positivity, and it spirals like it's a chain. It leads to one great thing or the other, right? Now, this has worked for me in different scenarios, right? There was a time I went for some appointments. It didn't go as I planned, right? And I wasn't, because I'd learned the act of positivity. I didn't channel that negative energy. I didn't feel, for me, I didn't even learn to be positive. Life happened to me to make me positive, right? I'd gotten to the point where I had no choice but to be positive, because I felt like everything bad that could have happened to somebody in life had possibly happened. So, what is the like? What is that bad thing, right? I would wither the storm with the grace of God. I would wither it. So that was the point I was at that point in time when I experienced what it is like to be positive, right? So is it rejections? I've received rejections. Is it failures? I have gone through them, right? Right. What's the worst that will happen? You would fail. What is the worst that will happen? It will not work out. And after it doesn't work out, you will pick yourself again, right? If you wallow there and nothing happens, you will just cry, give yourself a headache, feel bad about yourself, feel remorseful. But then when you pick yourself up, you can go watch a movie. You're giving yourself good vibes, right? So I'd gotten to that stage where I had to be positive because the worst things had possibly gone wrong. That was how I learned how to be positive, and I practiced it. And then I started remembering that, oh, people had told me this thing before, but I thought they were trying to make me feel good, right? So I had gone for this appointment, as I was saying, and it didn't work out. Like, it was just something negative. There was a negative response. But wasn't my first time. I moved on. I met someone at the door. I smiled, said hello, and all that. Um, Went to the store, got chatting, and all that. I've had this in two different scenarios. I'm probably misplacing the incidents for themselves, but they were. I've had multiple, right? But two that are really coming to me, I probably misplaced the scenarios for themselves, or what the event actually was. One experience was because, like, I had no choice but to be positive. Like, as long as you're alive, you have to keep living. And you choose whether you want to live good or live bad, right? So I carried on my day, like, one door closes, another door opens, you move on and everything. So it was in the process. I just turned on my music, I was driving back, I was in my fields, I chatted, I go back, chatted. But around that process, my thought process, I had new reason, I had new thinking, right? I was able to see what the problem might have been in that event, right? And I won't say I was right or I was wrong or I flopped, but there's always a better approach of doing something. So it was a no I had received. So I channeled, I thought this thing through of, okay, this person gave this feedback, blah blah blah. My thought process aligned, right? This was not even something I wasn't going to go back and go and be deliberating and negotiating or anything. Mm-mm. But my thought process just changing. Oh, this is what this person said. What would if we do it this way? So when I got back home, I just crafted my thought process and sent an email, right away, and all that. And less than 24 hours, I just got a yeah. Like, yeah, we could definitely work on this. In fact, people were talking about, like, just putting you in the books for this and all that. But what happened there was because I had positivity. My brain was able to open up and think, right? Was able to open up, think, and just be creative, have new ideas, new inventions, and just think up something in my. I was able to have critical thinking. I was able to see a new dimension in thing, right? If I had just been upset, I put in all my all into this, it didn't work out, I was dejected, I would be so sad, be angry, I would not think about the next good thing, just consider yourself a failure, nothing good can come, just negative talks, right? And you just see only you see just the tunnel. You don't ever see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So I wouldn't have had that that different perspective. And that instead that happened was, it was also a bad, like the outcome of that event had been bad. Or I moved on. I had other plans for the day. I went to do them. I for them, got talking with people. And in the process of talking, like I had a conversation with somebody, and I saw that that person was actually a key person into this. And the person just asked about me. I said, why don't you do this, that? I said, I've done all that before. It didn't work out, and this is my. But I was like, oh really? You had that meeting today? And I was like, yeah, it didn't work. And they were like, oh really? What about if you use that? I said, yeah, I have a that background, I have that experience there, I have it in my vision board, I have all that. And I said, what if you pitch it now? What if you do this now? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, go for it. Give me a different contact, and I went for it. So in that scenario, I was able to meet somebody who could help in a different way, who could give me a different avenue, or which resource I also have, right? So maybe the initial thing I had gone for, that wasn't the time for it, right? And maybe this other thing I put in reserve, that was the time for it, right? If I didn't up myself, if I wasn't positive, if I didn't exude positive energy, positive things like won't come. So when you speak positive to yourself, right? Positive things happen to you. When you think positively, good things come to you. So because I've been practicing positivity, this thing had become a part of me. Now, I won't say because I've been practicing positivity, I'm a guru at that. That is, I'm an expert at it. No, 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 no. There's still some things I forget, right? I forget, and that would have to do with my health. I'll talk more about it, right? So, but because I'm practicing positivity, it's just been something that's been a part of me. And for every bad scenario, I can see the good, and I can easily say, oh, pick myself up again, or you know what, I just enjoy myself and all that. So I recently had a meeting with a business partner, right? And we're discussing the shortfalls of our industry, right? We're talking about how, like, post-pandemic, or how culture, like, not when I say culture, not culture in the sense of our diverse backgrounds and everything, but in terms of the generation, how there was just a shift that was really changing our industry, and things weren't so looking so bright. There were a lot of negatives, there were a lot of rest. We're just talking about the shortcomings of our industry. And then this person spoke to me. So will you say there's really no good? And I was like, oh no, they are good, right? This is the good, this is the good, this is the good, this is. And she was like, it is so interesting that even in the multitude of scarcity, you can find not just one good thing, but you can find a lot of positive things to say. She said, not many people who I have spoken to are able to say not just one good thing, but most. She said, when I asked the question of when I ask this question to a lot of people, they struggle with finding just one good thing. But you've just been firing and giving so many good things that have happened. She was like, that's a good thing, right? But it wasn't something I had to tell. I said that it's not something that I was born with, not somebody I have always been. There's some people that they are just naturally positive people. They've been that way. They only see the good. Now let me tell you what I used to think about those people. I used to think that those kind of people, they just have wishful thinking, and they just have their life that way. They no don't make any progress, because whether good comes or not, they just see the good, and so it doesn't propel them to move to the next stage of their life. That's how I used to see those kind of people. But then maybe some people don't attach too much importance to life, and they just like to be where they are. They are comfortable with that. You do you, right? But it doesn't mean that for those who are ambitious, positivity doesn't also help them. For those who want to do more, for those who aspire for more, for those who desire one thing or the other, regardless of what that thing is. It could be anything. It's not just career. It could be in family. It could be in your relationships. It could be in your work. It could be professionally. It could be personally. It could be your dreams. It could be like your relationship with your family. It could be anything. So if you practice positivity, if you say good things to yourself, the universe align. Now, I was gonna say that okay, there's still some things I have shortfalls on. So if you follow my video, you would hear a couple of times I mentioned, oh, how I had an accident and still recovering from that accident, right? Because I had one, and then I had another like 2 days after, and it caused a lot of damages, and a lot of it caused a lot of setback for me, right? In the spirit of positive thinking, it gave me strength, not damages, right? So, but it caused a lot of setback for me, and this setback really affected me. Like, work, my relationships, everything, because I had deadlines to meet, I had things to do, and this challenge was just so. I had, when I say setback, I even had setback in my communications, right? And there were feedbacks from people like, oh, maybe I just was ignoring them, I was whatever, and I explained that they're like, oh, you've not recovered since. I mean, you get. So that's to tell you how long like the recovery process was, and in the spirit of being transparent and explain, I would say, oh, this is the setback I have. Oh, um, on one part, because after the accident I was moving fast, I didn't give my body time um to recover. I had a couple of post concussion syndrome. We talk about that, and somebody will say, "Oh no, you don't have post concussion syndrome. Okay, speak life to yourself." I'm like, how do I explain to you? It's like you go see the doctor, right? You go see the doctor, and the doctor says, "Why are you here?" And you say, "I'm strong." It's just gonna be like, if you're strong, so why are you here, right? You have to state what exactly is wrong with you. So I communicate to the person that you asked the question, right? I'm explaining what I'm not making it my truth. I'm not making it my reality, but this is the reality of things, and this is why I'm having this setback, right? So of course I knew the person meant well, right? So first, but I also had to. It was a check for me also, because I was believing some of those prognosis. Some of those prognosis were like long-term effects. So even though I was positive in some area, I wasn't positive in this thing, because I was for my health and my recovery purposes. Most of the things, actions I was taking was from an angle of fear. It was from an angle of the prognosis. It was from an angle of, so when I'm speaking myself doing physio, when I'm trying to do work, it wasn't because it was because of fear of what the prognosis was, right? So I was speaking myself from that angle, right? So when I channeled my energy, what that person said, it didn't really meet the scenario, but it was a check for me in my own perspective in things, right? So when I give a response, or when I provide an answer on, well, why am I having a certain setback, and I get that kind of response, I have an answer, right? Oh, no, 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 it's not. I'm not making it like, right. I'm just explaining to you. Oh, I know that I will be well. I know that I'll be strong. I was more confident in explaining, and also saying that, oh, I affirm with that person that there's life in what you say, right? And sometimes when I wake up, the morning doesn't feel like it, but I speak life into myself. I know that always another day of physio. The reality of it is that one is gonna go drive there, drive for multiple sessions, go for another treatment session, come back, have to work, do a lot of stuff, just too much in a eat, right? And mornings I'm like, why do I have to do all this again and still work and still do this and do that and everything? And even with that, just some days when you think you're having a lot of progress, things are coming down. Rather than wallow, I just say, you'll be well, you'll be fine. You are not this situation. You would progress, you would have life, you would have good prognosis, you would be fit, you will be strong, you will come out of this, right? Right? Even if there's a setback, this is not the end. You would fulfill what you're supposed to fulfill. You would do great things, regardless of what has been your past. Your future is bright. Your future is your future is great, right? So, and that helps me set the tone to my day. I realize that when I say that, right, even when I have pain, even when it's a struggle drive, even when it doesn't feel like there's like some progress, that's not my reality. I feel better, I feel empowered, I feel like I can do everything, and because of that I actually can do stuff. So in the reality of it, doesn't mean like when I get back or after all that I have the energy to. In the reality is I may not have the energy, but I'm positive that that energy will come. I'm positive that what I want to do, I will still end up doing it, right? Part of being positive is that I should take breaks, I should rest. If I push myself too hard, then I'm not creating space, right, to progress. You don't. It's not by how fast you go, right? It's how far you end up going is the ultimate goal, right? So even if you had a goal of, oh, within 6 months, right, it can take 10 years. It doesn't matter, right? Goals change, direction changes, things change. But where are you when all of these things are? Right? You need to not lose yourself. You need to be happy with yourself. You need to see the good in things, right? When bad things happen, there are good things there too. You are alive. You can stand up again. You can try again. You maybe made friends, right? You met new people. You might not have gotten your goal, but you maybe got something else. You got relations. You see the good. When you see the good, right? Even those elements of those good, you see new directions with those elements, right? And it doesn't mean that positivity is always a means to an end. It's not a means to always ticking your bucket list. It is the happiness you give yourself. You owe yourself happiness. You owe yourself being happy with yourself. You own not losing yourself. You own being grateful. You own being just alive. Like you can be existing but not alive. You existing, you waking up every day doesn't mean you're alive. You're alive when you're happy, when regardless of the situation that is there, it doesn't define you. When regardless of what happens, you will still choose life. You will still choose to live. You will still choose to try again. You will still choose a smile. Then it means you're living, right? So practicing positivity gives a lot of positive energy. It channels a lot of positive vibes. It gives personal fulfillment, right? So I would just want to encourage you to be positive. Practice words of affirmation. Speak life into yourself. Speak life into your business. Speak life into your work. Speak life into your relationship. Speak life into your health. Speak life into your marriage. Speak life into your health. Speak life into the things that you have not seen yet, but you know that they would come. Right? Be positive, and good things will align and come your way. Thank you.